Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. This is going to take some getting used to. I don't know if it's obvious from looking at the video, but I installed the lights. Well, I installed the lights on this half of the shop tonight. And, yeah. It looks like I'm going to have to add a fill light for this half of my face. I kind of have always kind of avoided that, but it needs to happen, so it'll happen. But I think part of the reasoning is there's now a bulb directly behind me here, whereas it used to just be here and here. So kind of a hair light and a fill light, and then the spotlight's in my face. I could honestly probably turn the spotlight off. I don't know. I'll play with it a little more. I did turn the exposure on the camera down, so this is not... It's much brighter in here than you might be seeing on screen, and compared to other older videos, it's a much brighter color temperature. I think these bulbs are 6500K, and my old were 5500K, so 1,000 degrees hotter, brighter, whiter. So this is an interesting look. It's gonna take some getting used to. It's kind of like sanitary, I think would be the word I would go for. It's a little, it's different. I have not added the lights over there, and originally I was going to put those on the same circuit as these lights so that when I flip the switch, everything comes on. And I might still do that. The problem with that scenario is I'd have to, this is the only switched outlet, so I would have to like run some conduit or something, or do it my way, which is to just kind of staple it to the ceiling, run some wiring over there. I think instead what I'm going to do is put those lights on a switch. Like I have the light. Can you even still see the light behind me? I think the light behind me is now useless. No, it still provides some color. That light's back there. Well, that actually is pretty significant. So you can get a little bit of a color difference behind me. Anyway, I'll put the lights over there on one of these, and the reason is I don't need even more light when I'm not using that part of the shop. So we'll do that. I did lose the shadow that I used to put back here. These cabinets are painted white, and I used to have a baffle, or not a baffle, I guess a deflector that I used to tuck up underneath the fluorescent that was up here. And if you want to see, let's see. Can I stand out of the way and show you the difference? This would sit up here and kind of keep these cabinets from blowing out this corner of the image. So, when you're shaping light for video, it's like people get paid a lot of money to do that, and I'm obviously not great at it. I have an idea of what I'm doing. The reason why that light behind me is a different color than the rest of the lights is on purpose. It's to kind of separate this kind of sanitized foreground from the background, but also give a little bit of visual interest back there. The shade that used to soften that was for a purpose, but I obviously still need a fill light somewhere over here, giving me just a little bit of light on my face. I don't want a whole lot. It doesn't need to be anything dramatic. I like having a little bit of contrast here, but whatever. I don't know why is this interesting to anybody? The reason I haven't done those lights, though, I was going to tell you that. I hung that massive light fixture. I'll show you a picture here. It's one of those like 4 bulb industrial metal housing lights. And that thing is stupid heavy. And I hung it by myself, but I have to take it down by myself. And this time there's nobody in the house. I'm alone all weekend, so I don't feel comfortable taking that down by myself with no backup plan. So if something happens, if it slips, it's heavy piece of metal, and I get injured, I have nobody here to spot me. So I might not get to take it down this weekend. We'll see. I might have somebody coming over to kind of hang out. So I would feel comfortable just knowing somebody was in the immediate area available to assist me should I become injured by dropping that on myself, or it's cutting me or whatever during that process. So once that comes down, I'll hang those lights and get that side of the shop lit up, and then I'm ready to start doing stuff. I'm going to go get wood tomorrow. I have cut lists that I've figured out. I don't have a truck anymore. I have my truck, but it hasn't been registered for over a year. I haven't driven it since last December. I don't know anybody with a truck with an 8-foot bed, so to haul plywood home is difficult. So what I figured is the 2 cases that I'm going to make, I have plans for them, and I figured out I can cut the plywood sheet in a 3-foot and a 5-foot section, and the cut, I'm not losing any more plywood. In fact, it makes the cuts a little better for me, so it'll be a little easier to manage, and I'll have a nicer piece of scrap as opposed to I would have a lesser piece of scrap. So I'm going to go pick up some wood tomorrow and some other materials for making these cabinet cases, and then I can start organizing. And so there'll be a video on all of that at some point in the future. Probably not next week. I don't know. It depends how long the edit takes. So I've got a lot planned. I'm home alone all weekend. No girlfriend. No daughters. If my daughters want to come over, that would be great. They can totally come over. But I don't have any plans. Let's say that. So my plans are to do work here and maybe some work upstairs. But that was part of the thing that I wanted to talk to you about yesterday, was the idea that I still don't know what motivates me to do work. And I'm a hard worker when there's work to be done. But when the work to be done isn't obvious, or when there's no obvious need for it, I have a really hard time getting started. I'm not a self-starter in that regard. I'm a self-starter if I know the outcome is going to benefit somebody, then I'm all about it. Like, let's do it, and I get it done. But if the outcome is not apparent and the work is tedious, I have a really hard time focusing. And I'm trying to figure out what the motivation there, or why the motivation isn't there when I know the work needs done. So that was what I was going to kind of talk to you about. But I feel like I'm going to get stuff done this weekend here, so that might push me to stay in the shop a little more and do some more stuff. We'll see. But I have before and after pictures, so I'll put those up now. The before picture on the left is the fluorescent lights, and then the right is the 3 LEDs. So these 3 LED tubes replaced 4 fluorescent tubes because there was 2 tubes per light. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, and being wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I will see you Monday.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from mentalfloss.com. Why did the Mississippi River run backwards? In 1811 and 1812, a series of earthquakes emanated from New Madrid, Missouri, were felt as far away as Ohio and South Carolina. The soil beneath the Mississippi River rose, temporarily changing its course so that it flowed backward.